Hey YouTube, it's Janelle Stowers here with Realty Central. We are here today to bring you another video that will help you pass that real estate exam. So today we're going to talk about fair housing. So I feel like as a practicing professional in real estate, fair housing is a topic that we hear about most often. Unfortunately, we're still in a world where we even have to mention fair housing. And so today we'll look at a few issues. So we'll look at what fair housing covers, and then we'll also take a look at blockbusting, steering, and redlining. So let's take a peek. The Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination in housing based on a few different areas. So let's take a look at what those areas are. So the Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination based on race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, or disability. So what that means is when you go up for a house, or as a real estate professional, when you are assisting individuals for a house, you cannot discriminate based on those items identified. Let's talk about blockbusting, steering, and redlining. Those are all topics in which fair housing plays a tremendous part. And we will take a look at all three topics today to see how fair housing affects each one of them. So let's take a look. So let's take a look at blockbusting. So blockbusting is the act of encouraging people to sell their homes for fear that another class or group of people will be moving in. So for example, in the 1950s and 60s, there was a topic called white flight, in which white real estate agents were threatening that other entities were moving to the neighborhood and people were being forced to sell, or they were panicking to sell because maybe blacks or African Americans were entering the neighborhood. So blockbusting is illegal and it is prohibited by the Fair Housing Act. So as a real estate professional, we have to be careful of not to blockbust. Let's take a look at another topic, steering. So steering is almost similar to blockbusting, but steering is when a real estate professional steers an individual or a family or a group to a particular area to purchase in that area based on the class or group of people that are already there. So for example, if I am working with a family of Chinese ethnicity and I steer them to a neighborhood where I believe most of the Chinese people live, that would be an act of steering. And steering in real estate is not allowed. That is prohibited as it relates to the Fair Housing Act. Okay, so the last topic that we'll talk about as it relates to fair housing is that of redlining. So redlining is when mortgage companies or insurance companies will not lend or insure properties in a particular area. So around the 1930s, the newly created FHA had FHA maps in which they drew red lines around for areas that they would not lend or would not insure loans. So as it relates to fair housing, of course, this is illegal because if you are basing your decision on anything other than economic factors, you are indeed discriminating. So redlining is discrimination as it relates to the Fair Housing Act. So today we've taken a look at some pieces of the Fair Housing Act. Remember, the Fair Housing Act prohibits discrimination in housing based on those factors that we talked about. So sex, religion, or national origin, race, disability, and familial status. So make sure as a real estate professional, you are not prone to discrimination. In this business, fair housing is a hot topic, and we want to make sure as professionals that we're on the up and up. Lastly, we cover blockbusting, steering, and redlining. So make sure that you are aware of the differences of those particular areas of fair housing. So thank you for tuning in today to our channel. We hope to send you more videos that would allow you to pass that real estate exam. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in.